Prepare for trouble.
And make it double.
To protect the world from devastation.
To unite all people within our nation.
To denounce the evils of truth and love.
To extend our reach to the stars above.
Hannah.
Aubrey.
Okay, so hear me out. Blast off at the speed of light.
Surrender now or prepare to fight.
Meow.
That's right. It's Pokemon Week.
Yay. Hi everybody, I am Hannah LaFleur.
And I am Aubrey Massey.
And this is Okay, So Hear Me Out.
Okay, So Hear Me Out is an imagination exploratorium where we, Hannah and Aubrey, take an idea and we try to make it better to either improve the world or just the subject at hand. And this week is all about the Pokemon. All those little pocket monsters that you put up in the balls and then you release them and then you make them fight to the death without any laws about animal cruelty.
Yes. Also, you just aged yourself because you said the Pokemon like the way old people say the Facebook.
Hey, I want you to roll with the joke, Hannah. It's a jokey thing. We've been dating for a while now. We've known each other for a long time, and you know that most of what comes out of my mouth is not serious.
So on the podcast today, we are talking about the Pokemon of the planet. Planet Pokemon. And and we have some ideas that we were thinking about literally like 20 minutes before we recorded this, and we thought it'd be a good idea for our first episode of season 2. So I guess I will start us out. Picture this. So we see Officer Jenny. She's in the jungles of somewhere, but all the trees are burned down. There's no more eucalyptus or bamboo. And then she comes across a starving Snorlax. And her whole perception of the Pokemon world changes. And she's like, should I feed it? It's she's about to die, or should I just put her out of her misery? And because she's kind of like the badass character in this series who doesn't always make the good choice, but she tries to do what's right, she's going to take out her Officer Jenny gun and she's going to shoot it and then say, I hope that you have a better experience in the next game. I don't know.
In Generation 2. Because that's what happens with Pokemon games. When they die in the Generation 1, they get transferred to the next gen.
They get reincarnated?
Yeah.
Maybe if they were a bad Pokemon, they get reincarnated as, what are those little worm ones? Like little,
Caterpies?
No. The
Weedles?
Diglets or something?
Diglets are not worms.
Okay, but the little,
Nobody knows what a
they
Diglett
look like
is.
little hot dogs that come out of the ground.
Yeah, sure. The little hot dogs. This is a very good way to start off season 2 with you showing that you have very little knowledge about Pokemon.
Hey, I have a good understanding of Pokemon, and I stopped learning about them probably when I was about 11. So I think that's fine. That's gonna it's gonna work. So anyway, maybe that's where you get reincarnated, but that's besides the point. So I think a good idea for a new Pokemon game would be like, we, or the people of Pokemon Planet, have been exploiting Pokemon. We've been capturing them for our own entertainment, but maybe it's time that we start releasing them. And this whole game is about getting all the Pokeballs and just releasing the Pokemon back into the wild so that they can like live their lives to their fullest and not just like be a part of our battle games, And also Snorlax get all the things that they want to eat ever. And it's like a conservation game.
Yeah, so I like this because every Pokemon game, not every Pokemon game, most Pokemon games are seen through the eyes of the Pokemon trainer, the upstart youth who decides to take on the Elite Four after they defeat all of these gym leaders and they capture some legendary Pokemon and all kinds of things like that. But
Right.
legendary is just another word for endangered. So what we need is a game where you are Officer Jenny and you take down the Rhydon Ivory smuggling gangs and you infiltrate them and take them down, and you take down Team Rocket, and then you track down people who have captured legendary Pokemon and you set them free to make sure that they are in the wild. And then maybe you even recruit some people. Your ways are not good, and Chief Officer Jenny, who's also your, I guess, mother? Because they're all sisters. And then, so your mom fires you because you play too much outside of the law. You don't play by the rules, Jenny. You're fired.
I feel like this is, what's the guy's name from Narcos? The mustache.
Wow, thank you. Let's talk about the guy from Narcos.
The one that we love with the mustache.
Are you talking about Pedro Pascal's character? Or are you talking...
Yes.
They all have mustaches, Hannah. It's about Colombia.
The main
80s.
one with the mustache, not the
Pablo
blonde
Escobar.
one. No. Fuck you. No.
Javier Pena. See,
Thank
that's
you,
what I'm saying.
Pena.
They all have mustaches.
Okay. So, like, our Officer Jenny is like the Javier Pena of this game. Like, she's not always... She's a little bit morally corrupt, but she's trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, so Officer Jenny gets fired, and then she just gets more into her new moral views, so then she decides to take down the Pokeball industry. And so she infiltrates it and then destroys all the Pokeballs and all the plans for Pokeballs so that all Pokemon are always free.
So, like, are Pokeballs made of plastic? Are there just, like, Pokeballs sitting at the bottom of the ocean like we have golf balls, you know? Like, have you seen those pictures of golf balls just, like, melting away in the ocean and, like, releasing toxins? I bet there's Pokeballs like that, and they're poisoning all of our nice water Pokemon and making them all dumb. Maybe that's why Magikarp is the way he is.
Stupid? I think it's just because he's a fish.
Yeah, well, you never know. It could be the first sign of something's not going right in the ocean.
Okay.
Anyway, I think this is good. Is there another character that we can get, like, an interesting Pokemon perspective from?
Yeah, so there's also, of course, Nurse Joy. That'll be a fun one. It's like a vet simulator game, but it's with Pokemon that have gotten the shit beat out of them because they just, they're a Rattata, and they got thrown out against Brock's Onix, and you know that didn't end well. So it's stuff like that. Here's the thing about that game, though. I'm pretty sure that after a fight like that, Rattata versus Onix, that they just have like a slew of Rattatas in the back to bring to those 10-year-olds after those Rattatas clearly die after being crushed by our rock snake.
Yeah.
And so part of the game is you convincing the kid that it is the same Rattata that they had a few minutes ago.
This is a messed up industry. I mean, like, I feel like most people in the world recognize, dog fighting and cockfighting is wrong, but somehow we're still teaching our children how fun it is to fight animals against each other. Maybe the whole, because I love Pokemon, but like I think it just needs a total, redo of what it's going for here, as far as teaching children.
What about a game from the point of view of Team Rocket? So it's like a crime series where you are the bad guy and you are stealing Pokemon from babies. But maybe as you climb up in the ranks, you steal Pokemon from really rich people and you like sneak into their house, and as you collect more Pokemon, you use them as aspects in your heist. Like you use a coughing or a wheezing as like a smoke screen in the room, and then you use
whatever Ekans is good for.
You start off with just a coughing and an Ekans.
Yeah.
Or if you want to go with the games instead of the anime, you have a Rattata and a Zubat. And you have to figure, I think that's, you gotta be a grunt. You gotta be a grunt. And you have a Rattata and a Zubat, and somehow you gotta steal Pokemon from random kids. And then as you steal those Pokemon, you have them in your pockets, and you have all of a sudden an Ocean's 11 team of 6, I guess, technically. An Ocean's 6 team. I know the rules of the Pokemon universe. And now you gotta infiltrate the mansion of Mr. Richman, which is his name.
Yeah, no, I like the idea of a heist game. And what if Team Rocket was actually, what if they were actually good? And everyone's gotten it wrong so far. I know they're dumb, but what if they're good? They're like Robin Hoods, and they're stealing from these Mr. Richmans and Mrs. Richmans, women's, and they're giving these Pokemon like a second chance, and like giving them to like poor kids who need like a dog friend, but the Pokemon version of that.
Well, I mean, I think it can be like every crime movie out there where it's morally ambiguous. Like they're doing a clearly wrong thing for what could be considered a good reason, even though it might not be a good reason at all.
Okay, so like they want a private island to just...
No, that's a bad reason. That's generally the kind of thought process of why people steal things, is to make money and buy their own island.
Yeah.
That's in the testimonials of every thief. If you look at their records at the police office.
Well, but I
stole it because I wanted it an island. And if that was a good reason, then like every cop would be like, well, okay, cool, bye.
Yeah. But I was like, in my head, I was like, well, if they get their own island and then do something nice with it, like, just chill out and have a happy life. Maybe they treat their Pokemon really well and they live in harmony with them and not fight them. Then, I mean, are they doing a bad thing?
Yes, they're stealing.
Do you think they can really steal an island? I think they just need a flag.
No,
they're just gonna
I'm
claim
talking
the
about
island.
the Pokeballs. The Pokemon. They're stealing
Okay.
Pokemon. It's still a bad thing.
Yeah.
The Pokemon aren't fighting anybody. They're just like distraction tactics and things like that. So technically, they're not... The Pokemon are very well treated. They're just forced into a life of crime against their will. The second game in the series, after you create this Team Rocket empire and use your Pokemon to get there, the second game is from the view of one of the Pokemon who realize that what they're doing probably isn't right, and you gotta get your way out of Team Rocket. You, the lowly Ekans, has to give up your life of crime and fit back into normal society.
Yeah, and this is just like a game all about identity. Like you're thinking, man, everyone thinks I'm useless. All I say is Ekans, and then like look cool. But I want a future for myself and for my little Ekans babies, and I want to find a Mr. Ekans. And so you've got to slither your way out. Well, this is interesting because then you find out that most humans just want to exploit you. Like first you're like, I'm gonna get with that kid Ash. Seems like a nice kid, and then you realize Ash is just gonna make you fight all the time. It's like the same thing. Yeah, he's a dumbass. I mean, Misty's like a little bit better, but like still, same deal. So you.
Oh, she wouldn't take an Ekans. She's a water Pokemon only type of gal.
Right. So our Ekans Star is just gonna try to make her way in the Pokemon world by herself. It's that feeling of, hey, I'm a person too. I mean, I'm not a human, but I'm a person.
It's a coming of age story.
Yeah.
That'd be a fun movie. And, maybe it could be a prequel to the way the Earth is now. And Ekans grows up and goes, wait, I want a new identity. I'm going to go by Snake.
I'm going to register to vote. How about that? What if we have Pokemon who are like, our time is now. We've been sitting on the sideline for too long, like, letting you guys do whatever you want with us.
Right, a Pokemon revolution where you are Pokemon and you start capturing humans. You develop technology to capture humans in human balls. Humaballs? Humaballs.
Yeah, that sounds disgusting.
You make
but okay.
them fight to the death. And you get to
Yes.
choose your starter. Are you Pikachu, or are you Charmander, or are you Squirtle, or are you Bulbasaur? Because each one gives you a different bonus to forcing the humans to fight, right? Bulbasaur's got
Right.
Vine Whip. Fight! Pikachu has Electroshock Therapy. Squirtle has Waterboarding.
Yeah.
Charmander has Lighting Your Clothes on Fire. One of my favorite tortures. Things
Yeah.
like that.
All of the people are just starting to realize that they're just being dicks. And maybe does this game end on a good note, like they realize their wrongs
No.
and everyone lives in peace? All right, cool. Like Planet of the Apes type, like Planet of the Pokemon,
Yes.
kick them all out. Cool.
Planet of the Pokemon.
Yeah. All right. I think
And they
it's
kick
good.
them all out, and then Mewtwo rises to power
Yeah.
and is a benevolent overlord or something like that. I don't know.
Right.
Point is, you now capture humans. You go, go hipster, and then the other Pokemon's like, go baby boomer, and then they get to fight it out because they're two different types of humans.
With their words. They
Yes. The problem is, no. Well, with their different bonuses, I guess. Like, I think a baby boomer every turn would have to hurt itself in its confusion, but a millennial human would only be allowed to fight with an avocado. You know, it's like things like that. They have
Right.
their trade-offs.
So anyway, that's a good future for the Pokemon industry. I think Pokemon Go is already starting to die. So
Hey, and speaking of which, hold on. I got more in the tank for new games.
okay.
Okay, 1. You play as one of the gym leaders. You have to choose a type, and you sit there for the entire game as kid after kid walks in, and you either destroy their dreams or they figured out the type matchup, and you get horribly embarrassed. Is it a good game? No, but it is an idea that we can put into alpha. Another idea is you could be the shorts kid. In every Pokemon game, there's a child who typically has, like, bug Pokemon, and he starts off his statements with talking about shorts, and your job is to defeat everybody with pants in the entire Pokemon universe and show them the way of the shorts. And you start your own religion, and your Pokemon wear shorts, and you prove that you are better and that shorts are better than anything else in this universe. So
Right.
there's one. It's called Pokemon Let's Go Shorts.
So what about, because all of these are very dramatic games or coming of age games. What if we have like a rom-com game where you're just a Pokemon and you have like, you do the meet cute with another Pokemon, and then all things happen wrong, and then in the end you fall in love and you make weird Pokemon
You mean like
babies.
a Pokemon dating simulator? Okay, I can get
Yeah.
behind that.
Yeah. Yeah. It could be interesting. Maybe
I think
just
it
something
would
different for
be-
other people.
Yeah, let's try to branch out and get to everybody out there. So you'd start as Pikachu or Eevee or whatever. I think the starting one would be you are an Eevee, right?
Right. Everyone
And
loves
you have
to
to
see
choose
Eevees.
between
So,
all of the different evolutions of Eevee, and you have to pick which one to date. Are you going to choose the fiery Flareon, or are you going to go with the cool Glaceon? Or the mysterious Espeon?
I feel
Things
like the
like that.
Eevee thing could be a good Scott Pilgrim versus a World kind of scenario, where it's just silly and there's all these different Eevees. You have to,
Eevee versus the World would be really good.
yeah.
Just a remake of Scott Pilgrim versus the World, but you are Eevee because you're the normal type, and then all these badass versions of Eevee are trying to fight you
Yeah.
because you are trying to get a Skitty to date you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like a punk rock Skitty, so it's still
And-
like Ramona Flowers.
And I feel like this would be a good platform for all of our more like normal type Pokemon who don't get as much attention in like those high stake Pokemon games.
Yeah, so this gets us back into our Rattata and our Lickitung and our Meowths and our, Kangaskhan, Tauros, things like that you may use because they're kind of cool, but also at the same time, not that great.
Okay, what if we have a Pokemon game or series, TV series, that kind of walks the line of like what Zootopia did or Legally Blonde did, where we have like an Eevee and she wants to make the best for herself, but she has all of these other, stronger Pokemon who don't think she's good enough to be a strong fighter, that kind of scenario.
Yeah, and you gotta go to different districts and solve crimes and prove that you are actually the strongest Pokemon and things like that.
Yeah, and like
I
you're trying
that.
to break the Pokemon stereotypes. Like,
Yeah, and you still kind of have that progression of, like gym battles have different types, right? In different areas and things like that. And because Zootopia had like an ice city and Savannah City and a mountain city and things like that. And so you're still kind of going through the regular progression of a Pokemon game. You just are a Pokemon and you're also fighting things like the patriarchy.
Yeah. Yeah, Pokemon versus the patriarchy would be something I would invest money in.
Yeah, like Pokemon versus racism. Just
Pokemon
things like that.
versus world hunger. Pokemon believes in science.
I think Pokemon versus global warming is when all the Pokemon rise up and murder all the humans.
Yeah,
I think that's the title for that
there's
game.
only one way to solve that scenario.
Planet of the Pokemon's still pretty good.
Yeah.
I like all of these. They're very good. There are some other characters I think we could still put out there, like Professor Oak. What would a game about Professor Oak be?
What if Professor Oak is super gay and he couldn't come out in any of the other movies? And the whole series is about him coming out and being his best self with his Pokemon friends. It's a musical. Is that too much?
Yeah. Well, I mean, everybody thinks that Professor Oak is, secretly doing it with Ash's mom, right? Everybody thinks that because they're always seen in the scene together, right?
But they're best friends.
Yeah, they're best friends, and Professor Oak is secretly having an affair with Ash's dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he left saying that he was gonna do something. I don't know why Ash's dad left, but he did, and secretly he lives in Professor Oak's apartment, and they are a couple, and they love each other very much. And yeah, we have a musical about Professor Oak coming out of the closet.
A Pokemon musical would be adorable. I feel like Venusaur would be like a beautiful bass voice. And then, you'd have plenty of sopranos with our Jigglypuffs, and Pikachu's probably a soprano, or maybe an alto. And it would work really well.
Man, the lyrics would be so heartwarming and deep and meaningful. Can you imagine it now? Pika, 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 Pikachu, Pika, so on and so forth.
Pika, 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 Pika. You're welcome.
Ron Weasley, and then so on and so forth.
Right. I mean, you don't need the words to understand what's in their hearts. I mean, and if you do, then Professor Oak can supply the words.
So we've gotten we put in a rom-com, we got a musical, we have a crime series, a horror flick.
Oh, with the ghost Pokemon, yeah.
With all the ghost Pokemon, we just have a horror series. Yeah, and it's just all of them.
Like, I have a question. What were they before they were ghost Pokemon? Boom, boom, boom.
Ooh, I like that. More of a investigative ghost hunters.
Yeah.
TV series about what these Pokemon were before they became ghost Pokemon, and you just have, in order to move them on to the next life, you have to solve the way that they were murdered and give them closure. So maybe Gengar used to be a Kangaskhan, and you just have to figure out that it's sad because its baby died, and you have to go find the ghost of its child, which is a Ghastly, and reunite them, and then you see them transform from a Ghastly and a Gengar back into two Pokemon spirits of Kangaskhan's, and then they just kind of disappear because they're happy again.
I like it. I think it could work.
Let's go Pokemon Whisperer. That's all it is. All right, let's take Pokemon and move it into space and make a Star Wars crossover.
Yeah, because, I mean, after Planet of the Pokemon, the movie where the Pokemon rise up and all that stuff, I mean, eventually the world is still pretty fucked over from the humans. So Pokemon have to, get to space, colonize a new planet. They get fancy space outfits because Mewtwo is very smart and has thumbs. Does he? No, he doesn't. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, he's got 3 fingers and they're thumb-like.
And he can use it as a thumb, right? So thank goodness some of them have thumbs and they can operate heavy machinery. So we've got Pokemon in space, and then, hey, we don't know. Like, there might already be Pokemon on other planets that can breathe in not oxygen, whatever else is floating around on those other planets. And they can look like heckin' cool. Or they can be useless piles of blob. But there'd be more Pokemon. I mean,
So it's like a new space exploration game. They can take what Mass Effect Andromeda did wrong and put Pokemon in it and do it right. And I know you don't get that reference, but there's a group of people out there who totally agree with me.
Hey, you've told me about this,
work.
so I do understand your reference. I just don't understand your reference, and that's fine.
Yes. It'll work.
Yeah. Okay. I have 2 good closing ideas. Either Whoopi Goldberg in a Pokemon movie, or Indiana Jones in the Pokemon version of Indiana Jones. Now, don't get the 2 confused. Whoopi Goldberg would be in a Pokemon movie, and then the other one is Pokemon being Indiana Jones, not Harrison Ford in a Pokemon movie. Although that could have its plus sides.
Okay, hold on. They're making a Detective Pikachu movie. We just scrap all the movies where Ash finds out the origins of Pokemon, because I swear to God, every single Pokemon movie that I haven't watched in a very long time, it's all Ash goes and he finds some legendary Pokemon with some ancient artifact, and then, they learn something about the origins of Pokemon.
Dinosaur Pokemon.
Screw that.
Okay.
Get rid of... Yeah, so there are like several options here. First off, though, we get rid of Ash. There's no way that Ash is existent in this universe anymore. It's all about Pikachu now. And we take the idea of this Detective Pikachu movie, but we make it cooler by having Harrison Ford play Pikachu and do an Indiana Jones type of movie with just the plot of the original Pokemon movies that had Ash in them. But it's cooler. And he can be scruffy and old, like an old washed up Pikachu.
Right. So, like, old Pikachu has some facial hair and is teaching. He's a professor at a university. I guess he in this scenario. They are teaching at a university. And then they go on an expedition to discover lost biblical artifacts.
About Pokemon.
Hey, are there Pokemon in the Bible? I just like that question. I don't need the answer. I just like the question.
There should be.
Right. I mean,
it'd be better. Can we make Pokebible? Can we make Pokebible?
I feel like things would have turned out differently in the Bible if there were Pokemon in them.
Also, Genesis would just make way more sense from, like, one human is like, what are you, creature? Pikachu. Oh, you're a Pikachu.
Yeah.
Cool. Unlike, what are you, creature? Woof. Oh, I'm gonna call you dog. Not a woofer. Like, how dumb is that?
Yeah. And, I mean, I hate how Adam spoke English, It was dumb.
English is stupid.
I know
what you're saying.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, wouldn't Genesis make more sense if the humans were naming Pokemon? Because all they can say is their names.
Yeah, and I think all of Jesus' adventures, New Testament would be better because maybe the 12 disciples were 12 Pokemon.
Oh, yeah, they'd all be 12 Pokemon.
Right. And Jesus' mom.
Oh my God, that would be Meowth's story.
Wow.
Like, Meowth is the only one that can talk, right? Like, with actual words. So he would become a prophet, and then, ta-da.
I was thinking, when you said that, I was thinking Meowth was Judas, and was the one that betrayed Jesus.
Jesus Pikachu? Jesus Chew?
Yeah, Jesus, true. Right. Anyway, that could work. And then if the Whoopi Goldberg idea would just be like, she shows up and is herself amongst Pokemon.
Yeah, I think a good version of like the Muppets movie, but with Pokemon starring Whoopi Goldberg would be great.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've got all the ideas for Pokemon's future.
Yeah, we've officially run out of Pokemon ideas. You're welcome, Pokemon. We've done you a very big solid. Thanks for listening to the first episode of Season 2, everybody. We've enjoyed getting back into this. It was so sad that we had to take a long break because of work, but hopefully things like that won't happen again for quite a while. Our plan is just to do this for as long as we can, and we'll give you a heads up if things change. Some cool things that have happened in the past is that I just got back from PodCon. I hung out there with Austin from the show Boss Fight with Austin and Aubrey. We were repping the show, and we met a lot of awesome people there. So if you are a person that we met at PodCon, I just want to say thank you. It was wonderful meeting you. You are an excellent human being. Other than that, you can follow us on our social medias. Like on Twitter, we are at Okay So Hear Me Out. We have a Facebook page. Haven't posted anything on it in a while, but it's there. I promise to change that. If you have an idea that you would like us to explore, or you just have a cool idea so we can start a segment where we throw out other people's ideas, which is something we want to do, you can either tweet at us, once again, that's at Okay So Hear Me Out, or you can send us an email to oshmocast@gmail.com. That is oshmocast@gmail.com, and we would love to take any of your ideas for us to talk about, or your individual crazy ideas that would improve the world. Are you ready for our final ideas?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Who wants to go? You want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. So
Okay.
Pokemon stand-up comedy where you can't understand what they're saying though, but you know it's funny because everyone's laughing. That's Pokemon.
My idea is the Great Pokemon Bake Off. It's just the Great British
man.
Baking Show, but it's all just Pokemon.
Oh, and they
Anyways.
have British accents?
And they all have British accents. Thank you so much for listening to Okay So Hear Me Out. I am Aubrey Massey.
And I'm Hannah LaFleur.
Meowth, that's right.
Oh my lord. Okay.
That was shit.
Bye.